We begin our second half hour with a story from the 12 News I-Team. A Valley couple hoped to have their home fully remodeled by this summer. But now they're filing a lawsuit against the contractor they say tore apart their house, stopped the work, and then kept the money. More than $150,000 of it.
The I-Team's Bianca Bono talked to the agency that licenses contractors in Arizona and has more on what you should know before you enter a contract.
All this is unfinished.
Challyn McClure walks through his North Phoenix home, a home that he built 20 years ago that is now totally unrecognizable.
Our goal was to have everything done by Thanksgiving, to have Thanksgiving with our family here at the house.
With 4 kids and a growing family, he and his wife hope to have it fully remodeled. Instead, it's left in shambles.
And they just demoed everything.
Including their bathrooms, leaving just one working.
Now we're confined from 4 bathrooms to 1 bathroom, all 7 of us, and 2 bedrooms. So it's very uncomfortable.
All this after a bizarre falling out with the contractor they found on Angie.
He was a yes man. Anything that we wanted, he basically could do.
The contractor is Keith Kortke. He owns and operates American Contracting Enterprise and quoted Jason $180,000 for the job in early April. According to their lawsuit, Jason and his wife paid $100,000 up front just to get the job started, but it wasn't enough. By the end of the month, Jason said Kortke asked for more money.
So in order to protect that $100,000, I had to pay him almost an additional $50,000 just to start work.
In complaints filed with the Arizona Registrar of Contractors and in their lawsuit, Jason says Kortke ordered materials and started tearing up the home, and then began acting strange.
The next visit he came to our house, he was a totally different person. He actually had almost looked like a SWAT jacket on. He said that he has, I think it's a self-diagnosed allergic problem to radiation.
Jason says after he asked where the money was going, Kortke sent a stop work order. A few days later, the final blow-up.
I immediately got on the phone with the vendors, appliances and whatnot. He did not make it 15 minutes down the road, and he already called all those vendors and canceled our orders.
12 News spoke to multiple vendors involved who confirmed that Kortke requested the money back for the materials he had ordered for the McClure project. But according to a lawsuit, the McClures say they never got the refund for those materials. Kortke kept the cash.
Is that a common experience that you see essentially from the ROC, where contractors are keeping deposits and returning materials?
No.
Jeff Leatham is the director of the Arizona ROC. He said he couldn't comment on the McClure's case specifically, but in general, he said Arizona law limits what his agency can enforce. And the best way to protect yourself is a clear and specific contract.
There's minimum standards, which may not be your standard, but minimum standards. The contract has to be met. And those things in there that if you want specific things done, then you need to make sure they're in your contract.
The ROC tossed the McClure's case, saying it wasn't something they could investigate because it was a financial dispute. But theirs is far from the first complaint against Kortke. The I-Team obtained records showing he's been the subject of ROC complaints for at least 7 different jobs. And records show he lost his contractor's license after a botched job in 2009. He didn't get a new license until 2017, and 2 years later, the complaints started coming. Records show these include allegations ranging from shoddy work to taking thousands of dollars without doing any work at all. Some complaints were closed by the ROC.
That doesn't limit either party from going through the civil process.
In at least 2, the client pulled their own complaint. One woman said she was concerned for her safety.
They have to allow the contractor an opportunity to correct the deficiency. But if they don't feel safe, we're not a law enforcement agency. I always recommend if somebody doesn't feel safe to always call the police.
One case is still open after another complaint was filed this year. The ROC gave Kortke time to fix mistakes in that case, but it didn't happen.
Hello?
We talked to Kortke on the phone for close to 30 minutes. He asked me to list out the questions I had for him, so I did, but he said he wouldn't answer any of them.
We lost $153,000.
The McClures have since hired a new contractor to remodel their home and have lawyered up. suing Court Key for close to $250,000, alleging fraud and breach of contract, hoping to get their money back and their home finished.
All of our goals are now set back into 2023.
Court Key has not responded to the lawsuit in court.
And a spokesperson with Angie tells us Court Key is no longer part of their network, but this case really shows why the contract itself is so important and that you must fully understand it. The ROC also said you need to have a relationship with the people you're working with before a lot of money changes hands, and communication, of course, is key, guys.
All right, now you talked to this contractor today for like 40 minutes. What did he say?
I did. I talked to him a while back, and it was a lengthy conversation. It started off relatively on the rails. He did point to the fact that the ROC dismissed the McClure's case, but then he started kind of shifting gears on me. He called me some pretty offensive names and actually started talking about conspiracy theories about 5G and the coronavirus, so the conversation went completely off the rails.
Wow. All right, so what happens next?
So as we mentioned, although the ROC dismissed the McClure's complaint in this case, Court Key is under current investigation after another complaint was filed against him earlier this summer. There was a hearing on that case earlier this month, and there's another one scheduled for December. As for the lawsuit that the McClure's filed, we know, unfortunately, that could take some time.
I can't believe all the money they're out.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, $150,000. All right, thanks so much, Bianca.